Hey, what's up guys? CombatCritique here. Let's take a look at this upcoming light heavyweight fight between Magomed Ankalaev and Johnny Walker. So let's get started. If we look at the records of these two guys, starting with Ankalaev, so Ankalaev has 20 fights and he's won 18 of his 20 fights, lost just one, and he also has a draw on his record. If we talk about his 18 wins, 10 of them have come via knockout and 8 of them have come via decision. He has no wins via submission. If we talk about his one loss, that has come via submission in the Paul Craig fight. Now let's talk about Johnny Walker. So Johnny has 28 fights. In total, he's won 21 of his 28 fights and lost 7. If we talk about his 21 wins, he has 16 wins via knockout, 3 wins via submission, and 2 wins via decision. He is a finisher. Most of his wins have come via finish. If we talk about his 7 losses, he's been KO'd 4 times, so that chin is definitely suspect. And he also has 1 submission and 2 decision losses on his record. Now let's take a look at the physical and career statistics of both these guys, starting with the height. Height is 6 feet 3 for Ankalaev and it is 6 feet 6 for Johnny Walker. So Johnny Walker will have a significant 3-inch height advantage. Weight will be even at 205 pounds for both these guys unless somebody misses weight. Reach is 75 inches for Ankalaev and it is 82 inches for Johnny Walker. So Johnny Walker again will have a huge 7-inch reach advantage. Stance is orthodox for both these guys. And if we talk about the age, they are of similar age. I don't think age will play any factor in this fight. Now let's take a look at the career statistics, starting with the strikes landed per minute. So this signifies the number of significant strikes that you land on your opponent per minute on average. This is 3.55 for Ankalaev and it is 3.85, slightly higher for Johnny Walker. So Johnny Walker will have a slight advantage here. He is landing more number of significant strikes per minute on his opponents. Striking accuracy, however, is 52% for Ankalaev and it is 56% for Johnny Walker. So again, a slight advantage goes to Johnny Walker. He is more accurate with his strikes. Next up, we have the strikes absorbed per minute. So this is the opposite of strikes landed per minute, and this signifies the number of significant strike that you absorb from your opponent per minute. On average, this is 2.15 for Ankalaev and it is 2.58 for Johnny Walker. So in this case, the guy who has the lower number is better because he is getting hit lesser. So here the advantage goes to Ankalaev. He is getting hit lesser than Johnny Walker. Next up, we have the striking defense, which is 59% for Ankalaev and it is 46% for Johnny Walker. So here the clear advantage goes to Ankalaev. So in the two metrics that we have seen initially, the strikes landed per minute and the striking accuracy, these two are the metrics that signify the offensive striking part and they favor Johnny Walker, whereas the last two metrics, which is strikes absorbed per minute and striking defense, these are the defensive striking metrics and these favor Ankalaev. Now let's take a look at the wrestling, grappling and BJJ statistics. Starting with the takedown average, it is 0.99 for Ankalaev, which is not really high, and it is 0.51 for Johnny Walker. So here the advantage clearly goes to Ankalaev. We know he is the better wrestler. However, this is not there is not a huge difference, and 0.99 is not really high enough. The next up we have the takedown accuracy, which is just 29% for Ankalaev, and this is really low for him if he wants to wrestle his way in some of these fights, with high level striking guys like Johnny Walker. If we talk about Johnny Walker's takedown accuracy, it is 100%. Most likely he's not attempted a lot of takedowns in the UFC, and the few takedowns that he did attempt, he was able to get them. So that is why this is 100%. He has an advantage on paper, it looks like. Next up, the takedown defense, which is 86% for Ankalaev, which is really good. And if we talk about Johnny Walker, it is 60%, which is not bad, but here the advantage clearly goes to Ankalaev. He has the better takedown defense. Submission average is 0 for Ankalaev, and this can be an issue. He has never attempted a submission in the UFC so far, and it is 1.0 for Johnny Walker. So Johnny Walker actually has an advantage in the submission department in this fight. Overall, in the striking, the offensive striking favors Johnny Walker, whereas the defensive part favors Ankalaev. Wrestling, Ankalaev looks like he's a better wrestler, but his takedown accuracy of 29% is really low, and the takedown defense of Johnny Walker is at 60%, which is good. Submissions, I think, surprisingly favor Johnny Walker in this fight compared to Magomed Ankalaev. Now let's take a look at the significant strikes by position for these two guys, starting with Ankalaev. So 65% of all the strikes that he throws are from the standing position, 10% from the clinch, and 25% on the ground. If we talk about Johnny Walker, 66% of all his strikes are from the standing position, 11% in the clinch, and 23% on the ground. So both these guys are very even. There's hardly 1 or 2% difference. Now let's take a look at the significant strikes by target, starting with Ankalaev. 64% of all the strikes that he throws are to the head, 26% to the body, and 10% to the leg. If we talk about Johnny Walker, 58% of all his strikes are to the head, 11% to the body, and 31% to the leg. So Johnny Walker goes to the leg more frequently than Ankalaev, and Ankalaev goes to the body more frequently than Johnny Walker. Now let's take a look at some of the previous performances of these two guys, starting with Ankalaev. So Ankalaev in his last fight had a draw against Jan Blachowicz. This was a split draw, and I think Ankalaev should have won this fight. I think he was ahead and he was robbed in this fight. This fight happened in December of last year. It was for the light heavyweight championship. This was a 5-round fight. Before that, Ankalaev beat Anthony Smith via TKO punches in the second round, and this fight happened in July of last year. Before that, he also beat Thiago Santos via unanimous decision in a 5-round main event. Before that, he beat Volkan Ozdemir via unanimous decision in a 3-round fight. Nikita Krylov, again via unanimous decision in a 3-round fight. He beat Ion Cutelaba in the very first round via knockout punches in the rematch, and before that he also beat Ion Cutelaba via TKO head kick and punches in the very first round, and he beat Dalcha via knockout front kick and punches. He beat Klitson Abru via unanimous decision. This fight happened in February of 2019, so this man really does not have a lot of losses. The only loss he has is when he fought Paul Craig, and that was a submission loss. Now let's take a look at Johnny Walker's record. In his previous fight, Johnny Walker beat Anthony Smith by unanimous decision in a 3-round fight, and this happened in May of this year. So this man is really not taking a lot of time off. Ankalaev is taking plenty of time off and coming back to fight after around 10 months. And Johnny Walker just fought in May of this year. He beat Anthony Smith by unanimous decision. Before that, he beat Paul Craig via TKO punches in the very first round, and this also happened in January of this year. So he's been really active lately. And before that, he beat Ion Cutelaba via rear naked choke in September of last year in the very first round. So he is on a 3-fight winning streak, and he is looking really good in his last 3 fights. Before that, he lost to Jamal Hill via knockout punches in the first round. He also lost to Thiago Santos by unanimous decision. Before that, he beat Ryan Spann via knockout in the very first round, lost to Nikita Krylov via unanimous decision, and also Corey Anderson via TKO in the very first round, beat Misha Sarkunov via TKO in the first round. So we have seen a pattern. Whenever Johnny Walker wins, it's in the early rounds, most likely in the first round, and if he does not win, then most likely the fight will go to a decision, and if it's against a good fighter, he might lose that decision. I think these factors play into my pick, which is Magomed Ankalaev. I think he is the better wrestler and he has better defensive striking. The only thing he needs to avoid is the crazy, flashy power of Johnny Walker. Also, the one thing that is really troubling is his takedown accuracy, which is really low. If his takedown accuracy would have been a few points higher, I would have picked him without any hesitation. Right now, I think it is a very close fight. Johnny Walker has a really good takedown defense, so I think he will be able to stuff a few takedowns off Ankalaev, especially in the first round. But I think in the later part of the fight, Ankalaev might take him down and keep him there to win a unanimous decision. That's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video.